Hello everyone, and thank you for clicking on the Literacy Volunteers of Harrison County YouTube channel. We're a nonprofit United Way agency, and we bring you these videos for educational purposes, free of charge. Please like them, give them a thumbs up, and share them with your friends. Today we wanted to look at some summer safety tips. Summer is just right around the corner, and school will be out, kids will be out playing, they'll be on vacations and doing some things. We want to keep the kids safe so that they can go back to school in the fall. The first one we're going to look at is swim smart. Drowning is the #1 cause of accidental death for children ages 1 to 4 years old. We want to keep our kids safe. We want them to avoid swimming alone. Don't let them in the pool, in the lake, the river, anywhere alone. And to swim in designated areas under supervision by lifeguards. The lifeguards have been trained and they can help save the kids if something would happen. Enter water feet first. That's to prevent diving into shallow water or to jumping into shallow water head first where you could hit your head on the ground or something nearby. Always wear a life vest, especially if you're on a boat or if you're in the ocean or somewhere where you could get the water could suck you under easily. So we want to always wear our life vest. Stay away from pool drains because pool drains are the filters for the pool and they have suction on them, and your hair, loose clothing, anything could get caught in those, like even at the bottom of a hot tub. So we want to be careful. And then don't horseplay in the water. Don't play those games where people hold kids underwater or you hold your friend down and then you just let them back up, or dangerous things like that. See how far you could swim. If you're not a good swimmer, don't swim above your capabilities, just like anything else that you do. It's very dangerous when you don't know those risks. Number 2 is to reduce our risk of sunburn. We want to reduce our risk of getting skin cancer later in life. And skin cancer, melanoma, is a really bad problem, especially for older people. If you have any blistering sunburns before the age of 18, you're at a higher risk of getting skin cancer. And people who have sensitive skin can burn very easily. Just being out a few minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, they could get a burn. We want to covered areas of your skin can burn. If you have clothes on and the clothes are really loose fitting, the sun can burn through those clothes if they have that loose weave that allows UV light through. And we'll just briefly say UV stands for ultraviolet, and that's the radiation, the light that comes from the sun. We have UVA and UVB rays. You might hear about those on TV or on sunscreen commercials, and those can cause damage to your skin. The reaction in your skin, when they shine on your skin, you have a pigment called melanin, and some people have more melanin than others. Light-skinned people don't have very much at all, whereas the darker your skin is, the more melanin you have. And then when the light shines on it, your body's defense mechanism is to produce a tan, and then people who burn, they get that burn. It's defending your body against those UV light, that UV radiation. Your eyes can also get sunburn. They're extremely sensitive to light. Even your lips can get sunburn. If you've ever had your lips sunburned, that's very painful. They make, not only we're talking about sunscreen, but lip, like chapstick, it will say SPF 15, SPF 30. You can keep your lips, keep them not from getting burnt. So wet skin burns more easily than dry skin. So if you are swimming, you can get a sunburn more easily than you can if you're just sitting along the side of the pool or things like that. The UV light will also reflect off the water, and you can get burnt that way as well. We want you to wear sunscreen with an SPF of 30 or higher and to reapply often. So what this means is that you can stay out 30 times longer than you normally could without any sunscreen at all. For you, if that's 5 minutes, you may not be out hours. But even if you are out just even half hour, an hour, we want you to keep reapplying your sunscreen. You could wear a hat to keep the sun's rays off of your face. As they make SPF clothes, you could get like fishing shirts and different things that'll even tell you on there a certain SPF is in the clothing. So that prevents you from getting burnt. And your sunglasses, because we don't want our eyes to get burnt. Another thing that goes along with that is staying hydrated. You have to drink plenty of water because those fluids are lost through sweat. As you sweat, you're losing fluid in your body, and you have to replace that fluid. This is especially harmful with more humidity. What happens is humidity, when we talk about the air, is the amount of moisture in the air, the moisture content. The higher the humidity, the higher the moisture content. You're sweating, and the sweat stays on your skin and doesn't evaporate as easily when it's humid. So you have all of that sweat that's there that you can't get rid of or evaporate because the air is already super saturated with water. So you want to consume foods that are high in water. Watermelon, cantaloupe, honeydew, any kind of melons have a lot of water content. Lettuce, cucumbers, things like that if you're out and you just want a snack, something with a lot of water. But more importantly, you want to drink plenty of water or drinks that have electrolytes like Gatorade. Electrolytes are your sodium, your potassium, your chlorine, ions that your body needs that they lose through sweat. And we want to take breaks when we're doing rigorous exercise to help you stay hydrated. Take a break, get a drink, maybe eat something, something like that, so that don't go out for hours and mow grass. I've done that before, and you get dehydrated, and it's not good. What we want to look for, what will be the signs of dehydration? How do I know if I need? They're different in adults and kids. Kids would have an extreme thirst, and they would be lethargic. That means kind of tired, right? You don't want to do anything. They would get pale, and their eyes would look sunken back into their head. Their hands and their feet might feel cold. They might have a heart rate that increases, and their breathing might increase, almost like you're hyperventilating. And then they become irritable, drowsy, or confused. If any of these things happen and you've been outside and you didn't drink enough water and stay hydrated, you need to make sure that you hydrate quickly in your home or go see a doctor. The signs of dehydration in adults, kind of the same. They're feeling thirsty, but in adults you will get a dark yellow or strong smelling urine, and you may not urinate. You may not pee very often, fewer than 4 times a day, but you're not producing enough water. And then you could become dizzy and lightheaded and have a dry mouth, lips, and eyes because you've depleted your body of that water that it needs. So if you experience any of these symptoms, either in kids or adults, you want to make sure that you sit down, cool off, and drink a lot of water. The fourth thing is weather safety. Around here we have a lot of thunderstorms. And I found this online. It said, when thunder roars, go indoors. So if you're outside playing, you're playing basketball, baseball, just running around soccer in your yard, and you hear the thunder, we want to make sure that we take a time to go into our house or to go into a building, or if you're at camp, go into one of the buildings at camp. We want to protect ourselves also from lightning strikes. If you see lightning, you want to immediately get off elevated areas. If you're on a hill, mountain ridges, peaks, anything like that. Never lie flat on the ground. Lightning travels through the ground. I saw a special one time. Someone was at the beach and they were sitting more than a mile down the beach, and lightning went through the ground and came up through their feet and shocked them. So we have to be careful. Don't lie flat down on the ground. Never shelter under trees, isolated trees, because those are lightning rods. Because why? They're taller, so they're going to hit that first. So we want to be careful about isolated trees. You won't want to be near water. Get away from ponds, lakes, other bodies of water. Stay away from windows in your home if there is a lot of lightning. Don't take a bath or a shower. They used to tell us not to be on the phone when we had the house phones. Right now you have a cell phone, so it's different. But don't take a bath or a shower, and avoid things that are metal, because metal is a good conductor of electricity. So you don't want to be on the lawnmower or pushing any of these things during lightning strikes. The fifth thing we want to do is use our insect repellent. Insect bites cause a lot of problems for a lot of people. We want to get rid of any standing water that's in your yard. Those are cesspools for mosquitoes. Mosquitoes love that standing water. So if you have an old tire, even a bird bath that might have stagnant water, we want to get rid of that because we don't want that drawing the mosquitoes to us. You can wear a hat and long sleeve shirts while you're in the woods. If you go out into the woods and you want to go for a hike, or you're just out there riding mountain bikes or doing something with your friends, those bugs can get on you. So you want to wear a long sleeve shirt. You also want to put bug spray, and this is what bug spray does. The insects are attracted to the carbon dioxide that we exhale. People who produce more carbon dioxide are typically bitten more by mosquitoes or insects than people who produce less. My sister's a lightning rod for mosquitoes. We could sit in the same place and she would have 100 bites and I wouldn't have any. So we put this on our skin because it kind of covers up that scent of carbon dioxide that the bugs can sense, and then they can't find you. The active ingredients for the EPA in these repellents are catnip oil, citronella. You find a lot of candles that you can burn outside or at camp that have citronella in them to keep the bugs away. DEET, which is the big one. This is IR3535. Picaridin, oil of lemon, eucalyptus. Some people will use that to keep the bugs away. And then this is just a chemical, 2-under-canone. Of all of these, the CDC says the ones that contain the DEET and the picaridin and this IR3535 and the eucalyptus will keep the bugs off you the longest. So a lot of people go out in the woods and they find ticks on their skin, and we've heard a lot about ticks. What do you do if you come home and you have a tick in your scalp or a tick on your arm or a tick somewhere? Don't be alarmed. Most tick bites are harmless. If the tick is still attached to your skin, you have to get it removed. Do you know what ticks do? Ticks suck your blood out of your skin, right? Out of your body. So we have to make sure we get rid of those. So if we just go, we put petroleum jelly, Vaseline on it, nail polish, rubbing alcohol, those won't get rid of the tick. And neither does touching it with something hot or something cold to kill it. Instead, we can try these. First, try a soapy cotton ball. Soak your cotton ball in warm soapy water for about a couple minutes, get it nice and full, then put it on your tick for about 30 seconds, and sometimes the tick will stick to the cotton ball and you can just pull it out. If that doesn't work, you can get some tweezers. And you want to grasp the tick close to the skin on its head where it's buried in your skin. Grasp it, pull straight out. Don't try to twist it out like this because it could break off. Don't try to crush it on your skin. You want to maintain steady pressure and pull it out. For deer ticks, for different than just a regular wood tick, you can take a credit card or your fingernail and scrape those out of your skin. If the head of the tick happens to break off, say you were trying to pull the head out, the body came and the head's still in your skin, you need to remove it. You can clean that with rubbing alcohol and use a sterile needle to lift it out from under your skin. If most of that head still remains and is left in your body, you need to go see a doctor to have that removed. You can't leave that in there because ticks carry something called Lyme disease, and we're going to look at that here in a minute. We want to, if we're going outside, apply that DEET. And then they also have this other thing called Permethrin, and you can put that on your clothes. DEET doesn't work on your clothes. That's for your skin. But you can put this on your clothes or your shoes and cover that on there. Let it soak into your clothes, and that will keep the bugs away from you. Here's the Lyme disease. It's named for a place, but it's caused by ticks, and you have to be very careful. If you get any of these, then you might have Lyme disease and you need to go see a doctor. You could get a skin rash that looks like a bullseye. You know what a bullseye looks like, concentric circles like that. You might get fever or chills, usually a high fever. Fatigue, you feel really tired. Muscle pain or joint pain. If you have a bad headache. Facial palsy, that's partial paralysis of parts of your face. If your heartbeat is irregular and you have strange sensations in your limbs, in your arms or your legs, your body can become inflamed, or you have thinking. Cognitive means thinking problems. You don't seem like you're thinking properly. You might want to go get checked out just to make sure you don't have Lyme disease. Also, if you get stung by a bee, wasp, or hornet, the first thing we want to do is remain calm. Then we want to remove the stinger. A lot of times they will die after they sting you, so you don't have to worry about getting stung again. Pull that out. Wash it with soap and water. You could put a cold pack on there to reduce inflammation, and you can take pain relievers over the counter, like ibuprofen or Aleve or something like that. A lot of people are allergic, though, to bee stings, and that's what, when they get stung by a bee, they have what's called anaphylactic shock or an anaphylactic attack. They can't breathe, their airways shut off, their eyes swell. We want to use epinephrine. That's the same thing as adrenaline, but that's what the EpiPen. People tell you if you're allergic to that stuff to carry an EpiPen, and you would give yourself a shot. You want to get oxygen to them immediately. Antihistamines or cortisone. Antihistamines like Benadryl That gives us fights against the swelling in your lungs. And beta agonists like albuterol, which would, free up your airways. The number 6 is playground safety. If you're out on the playground, and we want to make sure that we remain safe, because falls are the most common type of playground injury, and that accounts for more than 75% of all playground-related injuries. If you're falling off of the merry-go-round, falling off of a swing, falling off of the monkey bars. When you play on playgrounds that have that shock-absorbing surfaces, they have rubber, synthetic turf, sand, pea gravel, wood chips, or mulch. Those absorb a little bit more of the impact than does asphalt, concrete, grass, or dirt. If it's sunny, you want to be aware of the very hot surfaces. If you have those old metal sliding boards and it would get hot outside, it would feel like it was burning your skin when you would touch it. You have to be very careful of that. You want to use equipment as designed, meaning don't be doing crazy things. We don't run across the top of the monkey bars on our feet, or do things that on the seesaw. People I used to see them, they would start here and walk, wait till it, and then walk. That's not how it was designed. It was designed to sit on so that people can go up and down. Also, wait your turn. Don't push or shove or crowd, because that's when accidents can happen. You push someone, they may fall off of something, they may hit their head, they may even get a concussion. Things like that would happen. You want to dress appropriately. When you get on the equipment, especially like a swing or the monkey bars, remove your necklaces if you're a little girl and you have a purse, a scarf, clothes with drawstrings, like a hoodie that you have those 2 strings around your neck, or drawstrings on your pants. We don't want to wear those there because they could cause injuries. Also, wear closed-toed shoes. If you wear flip-flops or sandals, sometimes on that equipment, the back of the flip-flop can get caught and knock you off of something, or you could hit your head. And please always have supervision. Don't go to the playground and just play when nobody's around. Number 7 is bike safety. We always want to inspect our bike to make sure it's ready to ride. You have to wear a properly fitted bicycle helmet. And you can look up online those things to do when you check to see if your helmet's fitted properly. You want to make sure that the bicycle fits you. Stand over it, with your hands on the handlebars like this. There should be 1 to 2 inches between you and that top tube bar on a road bike, and 3 to 4 inches on a mountain bike. Check the tires to make sure they're inflated, and make sure your brakes work, whether they're here or here. You don't want to ride a bike where the brakes don't work, because you can't stop the bike. You'd have to just jump off. Also, see and be seen. Don't wear a black t-shirt and a black pair of shorts and go ride your bike by the road. You have to wear neon, fluorescent clothes, bright colors where people can see you. They have those little reflective vests or reflective clothing that people wear when they ride their bike, or those flashers. Try those flashing lights, or even reflectors on your bike. All of those things help people to be able to see you. Just like a school bus is yellow so we can see it better, that you need some bright colors for your bike. Always ride with at least one hand on the handlebars. When we were little, I must confess, we would put our hands up and ride our bike. That's not safe. You should not do that. You can carry your books or other items in a backpack, strap it on the back of your bike, just so that your hands are free to be on the handlebars. You have to watch for road hazards like potholes, broken glass, mud puddles. Wet leaves are especially slick. Dogs come running after you. Look out for all of these things while you're on a bike. And also avoid riding at night. It's more difficult for people to see you at night, and therefore you become more readily hit. Number 8 is fireworks safety. In 2019 alone, fireworks caused an estimated 10,000 injuries that required emergency treatment. When using, we want to keep a safe distance from other people, and don't point lit fireworks towards someone. Whether it's an M80, whether it's a firebomb, whether it's a sparkler, we don't want to point those toward people. Don't keep them in your hand. This is games they used to play. Let's light this firecracker, see how long we can keep it in our hand, and then let it go. People lose fingers that way. You don't want to keep those in your hand. You want to toss them away from your body. Always have water nearby. If there would be a fire, you could extinguish it. And sometimes it would be good for you to wear earplugs to protect your hearing, because those loud noises could damage your hearing in the long run. Also, if you have pets, keep them away from those sounds. If there's fireworks, maybe take them inside. They can wear little vests sometimes that make them feel more comfortable in those loud noises, because that's not good for your pets, especially dogs. Number 9 is to pay attention to poisonous plants and fungi. Poison ivy, poison sumac, poison oak. Those cause issues for about 85% of the population, and up to 15% of those are extremely allergic, where you could go back to that anaphylactic shock. You could have a bad reaction to those. Always wash your hands, face, everything very well when you're come in from being outside, whether you're mowing, pulling weeds, sitting in the grass, whatever it is. Try not to rub your eyes with your hands when you sweat. Use a towel. If you're out, I did this one time, mowing grass, I accidentally mowed over poison ivy, and then I wiped my face with my hands because I had poison ivy all here and everywhere. So you have to be careful. And one thing I wanted to make sure that I told you is never burn poison ivy to destroy it, because it gets in the air and people can inhale it and you can get that in your lungs. You don't want poison ivy in your lungs. So make sure to destroy it, cut it all down, wear your big long gloves, put it in a bag and throw it away. Don't burn it. Poisonous fungi, never, ever, ever pick fungi, mushrooms, out in the woods and eat them. You have ones that will look identical. One could be poisonous and the other might not. So please don't do that. The last one that I wanted to touch on, and there are many more, these are just 10 examples, are foodborne pathogens. A lot of people attend cookouts, picnics, barbecues in the summer. We always want to be aware of the food that you consume. Make sure your meat, chicken, fish are thoroughly cooked. We could get E. coli or salmonella from uncooked or poorly cooked meat, especially hamburger meat. Don't leave meat products or things with mayo or eggs out in the sun or out in the heat. You made chicken salad, macaroni salad, you sat it down, you went and played for 2 hours and came back. Don't eat that. That could spoil quickly. Don't drink from a garden hose. We used to do that when we were little. Now they warn people about all of the bad things that could be in a garden hose. The last thing I wanted to go over with you are the signs of an E. coli infection. E. coli is a bacterium. You would typically see these within 72 hours after you consumed the raw meat or the poorly cooked meat. Severe stomach cramps, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. All of those kind of go together. Profuse sweating. You may have a high fever and look pale. You might become dehydrated, exhaustion, and ultimately it can lead to kidney failure. Extremely dangerous in children. A lot of children die from E. coli infections. You have to be very careful. And similar of all of these signs would be the same for salmonella, which is poorly cooked chicken. Don't cut raw chicken on a surface and then put something else there. Always clean it off. Don't use one of those cutting boards that have like the little pores in them where it soaks down into that. You have to be very careful of those kind of things. So we hope that you can watch this video and use it in your everyday. Kids, parents, everybody needs to know about the things that are important to keep us safe during the summer, and we hope that everyone has a great summer.